What is up? What is happening? What is going on? Hello, this is After the Shame. I am your host. I am Scott, and I am an alcoholic. Now, today it's a little change up. Every couple weeks or so, I do a recovery show. The recovery show that we do here is called After the Shame. It's a addiction recovery and hope. This show is intended for anybody that is in recovery or in full-blown addiction. It doesn't matter, the full ends of the spectrum, really. Or for anybody who's curious about what are some of the issues that us in recovery go through, some of the things that we have to deal with on a daily basis, and some of the things that affect people in our lives. Also, really, it's for a lot, I try to make this also, I get all these reminders. They drive me nuts. Do you hear that dinging? That's the reminders. This is also for people that are affected by alcoholism, by addiction, so you can work with people, work with your family and friends, your loved ones, to try to get them on the right path, or to just maybe understand a little bit more your role in that situation. So thanks everybody for joining. Great to see everybody, man. I love doing these shows. I try to do them on Tuesday. I try to do them at least, like I said, at least every other week. I'm going to start out today. I've got a little vape mail, so I'm going to start out with that. I'm also going to remind everybody in chat who's already here that if you have not updated yesterday's episode with a comment and a number, please go do that immediately. Do it now. Do it now. Just go do it. Just do it. You're going to win some Holy Fiber. You're going to win some BlackCat Cat's Whiskers e-juice, and you're going to win the most important thing, a set of coils from ArkaCoil. Now, that's the only place you're going to get them, guys. So go do that. We're doing the giveaway tomorrow. All right, thanks everybody for joining. I'm going to start today with a little vape mail. I got some vape mail in today from a gentleman named Matt Clark. Matt had asked if he could send me some coils, and I gladly agreed. And he gave me a note here, and I hope he doesn't mind me reading this live, but I don't know. I love getting the letters as much as I love getting the coils. So thank you very, very much, Matt. And these are going to go, not only am I going to use these, but there's a lot here. So we're going to open them up. We're going to take a look at them, and then we'll get into the recovery show. But the reason I wanted to mention is because he's in recovery as well. Well, I don't know if he's in recovery, but he mentions it here. So I hope I didn't blow your anonymity, but okay, here we go. Anyway, hi, Scott. It says, hey, Scott, I'm not a professional builder, but I know you have much time on your... have not had much time to make coils lately, and I wanted to help you out. It's my way of saying thank you for your videos, not just on vaping, but on staying clean and sober. So, affected his life in some way. I gathered up a bunch of my coils for backup, and in case you wanted to offer a giveaway. I tried to remember the specs and wrote them on each container. Sorry, but I couldn't remember each set's resistance. I hope the quality is good enough. My hand never really healed after breaking it, so I switched it to my drill hand. Getting the tension right with my weak hand has been challenging, I know that. And it takes a lot longer, but I'm still proud that I didn't give up. Absolutely. Anyway, I hope you have a great vacation and wish you and your family the very best. Have a great summer, Matt Clark. Matt, thank you very much, my brother. Man, this show is dedicated to you today, and thank you for sending these. So, without further ado, let's take a little look at what Matt sent us. Let's open here. He sent me these really bright idea here, how he wrapped them up. I really like that. So let's open these up here. Oh yeah, so we got some, oh, these look fantastic. Wow, they look really, really nice. Wow, okay, yeah, they look great, Matt. You did a great job, dude. I wouldn't worry too much about your quality because it looks absolutely fantastic. Let's take these down low. Take a look at Matt's coils. Get that down even closer. There you go. Those are some frame staples. The specs on those. 14 ply, 0.4, N90, 38 gauge. 14 ply. So those will be a single coil. Look how nicely those are wrapped. Beautiful work, sir. Beautiful work. 26 gauge frames. So 26 gauge frames, 0.4. Beautiful work, sir. God, they are gorgeous, man. Let's grab another set here. What else Alien N90. Or N80. Let's grab these out too. Take a look at these. Wow, these are 3 by 26 gauge 36. Aliens. And I'm trying to get this as clear as I can for you guys to see. Look at those. Beautiful, man. Matt, they look absolutely fantastic. Look how long he left the legs in case you want to add another wrap to it. Matt, thank you so much, man. You, sir, are an absolute ace. Absolutely, man. I really, really appreciate the generosity. And not only that, but just thinking of me, that you thought enough of me to send them to him, really absolutely means the world to me. I will certainly give these out in some giveaways, and I'll tell you this, I will definitely be vaping these, and I will set these set of aliens out tomorrow for when I change my RDA over to my new one. Thank you so much, brother. All right, so let's get these set over here. Write Mr. Matt's name on here. Matt Clark. All right, Matt. Thank you so much, brother. Very, very cool. Well, good. Hey, thanks for everybody for joining. Really appreciate that. You know, when I was doing these shows originally, I wanted to keep it, you know, not make anything about vaping when I did my After the Shame. And after thinking about it, it's like, you know, it's kind of just a continuation of my other shows, even though this show is more focused on recovery and on some of the things that I've dealt with in my life and giving you my perspective. Now, let me qualify myself. I am in no way, shape, or form a doctor, a therapist, smart, really at all. I'm a fucking idiot, but I am an alcoholic, and I do know alcoholism pretty well, and I do know what it is like to be an alcoholic, and I'm sober. That's my qualifications. I'm sober. I'm an alcoholic and I'm sober, so I can give you some of the experiences I had, and I can tell you what I did to help me get sober, and I can tell you how I fucked up my life and how I fucked up other people's lives. That's what I can tell you. So that's my qualifications in this matter. Don't ever take anything from me. You know, I can tell you how I did my detox medically, you know, but I can't tell you the anything I took. You know, there's nothing you should take from this that would be anything, you know, as a model to getting sober, other than I would say get yourself in detox and get yourself in rehab. That's the advice I would give you in that respect. But as far as dealing with a lot of the mental aspects of going through recovery and things like that, also relating to a lot of the things that we think as alcoholics, I mean, I can relate to that as well. But this is not a how-to guide. I'm not a snake oil salesman here to tell you this is how you're going to get sober, because I don't know how you're going to get sober. I really don't. I know how I got sober, and I want you to get sober, and I'll be here to help you. But that's where my qualifications begin and end. I think anybody who's in recovery, who you know, is honest with themselves, will kind of say the same thing. Is we know what worked for us, and we know we want you to get sober. We know that, but we don't really know how it's going to work for you. And every case is different, and every person is different. So that being said, but on to the point I was trying to make before I got on my little sidebar there. You know, I showed you the coils and the stuff for vaping and things like that. I also mentioned the giveaway. When I originally did this, I kind of wanted it to be its own show. And I was like, I'll just do this own show, aside from the Vape at 5. Vape at 5, it's its own show, you know, and incorporates the vape hot tub. But this is its own show as well. And after thinking about it, I was like, you know what? They're all the same. It's all the same. It's just a different show, part of my channel. So I'm kind of moving away from that, where, you know, the After the Shame thing, I'll mention my other shows and things like that. Whereas before, I try to keep everything isolated and separate. Not really going to do that. You know, it's all my channel. And if you watch my channel and you enjoy my content, you know, there's not many people who watch this show who don't watch, you know, the Vape at 5. Not many. And I vice versa. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Anyway, great to see everybody here today. Todd Black. Mogi Vapes, how you doing, man? Great to see you. Thanks for commenting earlier. I saw that. Mailman Vapes, Mr. Pebble, Big G, Charles McLaren, the Baron, Dustin Kendall, what's up, my man? How are you? Brian Feeney, great to see you, brother. Dan, the motherfucking man. Matt Clark, there he is. Matt, thank you for joining, man. That absolutely very kind of you. I hope I didn't embarrass you or anything by reading your letter. They mean a lot to me. And again, that you would think that much to send something to me, man, is really touching to me. And thank you, brother. I love you. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Who did I miss? Anybody else? Dave Montferro. What's up, Dave? How you doing, man? Good to see you. Barbara. Hi, Barbara. How are you? Great to see you, hon. Thank you for joining. And that is about it. All right, so here we go. I did a lot of thinking today about what I wanted to talk about. And, you know, my common theme is gratitude, and I'm sure I'll touch on that at some point. But the thing I really wanted to touch on today, and the thing that I see as a big obstacle for anybody who's having a problem, but hey, Fabian, Tracy, great to see you. Vaporos Vape, good to see you guys. A big obstacle that I see over and over and over again for people that have problems or that exhibit the behaviors of an alcoholic or an alcoholic or an addict is realizing themselves that they have a problem. And I think there's a lot of reasons for that. But I think you have to look at it in two separate type of addicts and alcoholics. First, you have to look at it the person who doesn't know they have a problem. And there's a lot of those. There's a lot of those. And I think that's the majority. And what I mean by that is the person that is using alcohol not recreationally anymore. They're drinking, and I don't want to say they're drinking alone because there's a lot of people that have a couple beers by themselves. They're not alcoholics. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that go to parties and get fucking hammered, and they're not alcoholics. They're not. I think there's a side to that with addiction where it goes to where you start mainlining, and once you start mainlining, you've kind of stepped over the bounds. And in my opinion, I'm not an expert on that by any means, and there might be people who would argue that point. As I assume people would tell me that anybody who gets drunk is an alcoholic. I don't agree with that. I'm an alcoholic, and I don't agree with that. There be people who whose drug of choice would have been, could be an opiate or something that is mainlined, and would tell you that they may not be an addict. But for an alcoholic, it's a little bit different. At least I see. So I'm just going to hold it in the way that I see it. Again, I'm not an expert in a lot of these things. Hey, Mr. Davis, how you doing, brother? Good to see you. So how do you realize when you have a problem? You're going to have, first off, once you start going down that rabbit hole, you're going to have a lot of things that start happening in your life. And it may not all happen at once. And a lot of times, it may not even look like things are going that bad because maybe you still have a house. Maybe you still have a car. Maybe you still have your job. Maybe you still have your girlfriend or boyfriend. Maybe those things haven't been taken away from you yet. But there's a point where you start prioritizing either alcohol or drugs. And I'm in this aspect, I'm just going to use alcohol to mean both, just so I can carry on a conversation. You're going to start prioritizing alcohol more than you should prioritize it in your life. Alcohol should never be a priority in your life. It really shouldn't. You shouldn't think of things in any sort of... A normal brain doesn't think of alcohol in the respect of that it prioritizes it for when it's going to do things. For example, if you think, well, I want to go to this party and get hammered, that's a common, normal thing to think. But to think, I'm not going to go to this party because they don't have alcohol, that's a problem. That's something that you probably want to step back and be like, why would I need to think that way? Well, that's a long track there. I need to get some alcohol before I go. That's the kind of alcoholic thinking that got me in trouble. In the morning, do I have alcohol left in the morning so I can catch a bus before I go to work, before I go over and see my buddy? That's a problem. That's when you're starting to think, you're starting to prioritize and starting to think, do I have alcohol around? Is alcohol with me? Is there going to be alcohol there? Once you start thinking like that's a problem. And that's something that you probably need to take a step back. And, am I at a point now where I need to consume alcohol constantly? And am I at a point now where I need alcohol? Is it something that I need to function, for the day and things like that? And when you get to that point, then yes, you have a problem. And so convincing yourself that you're an alcoholic or admitting to yourself that you're an alcoholic or addict and knowing that you are one, there's two different things. There's people who have issues with alcohol that don't know that they, haven't realized yet they're an alcoholic, which I just previously spoke about. But the worst part is there's people who are alcoholics, and this is the realm that I fit into. I knew I was an alcoholic. I knew I was, and I was still getting fucking hammered, and I knew, and I just accepted it. I had just accepted that I was an alcoholic, and that was just the way it is, and that was how I was going to drink, and I was just going to drink that way. And if you didn't want to be around me, I'm fucking sorry. That's just the way it is. That's the dangerous part, and that's the part that I kind of have experience with. What I had done is I had given up all hope that my life was going to be worth shit without alcohol. I'd pretty much given that hope up. And the only thing in my life that I really looked forward to was getting hammered. That was it. And I think that it like hurts in the bottom of my stomach to admit that, and it literally almost takes my breath away even saying it out loud. But that's kind of that's where I had gotten to. Lead Pipe 58, welcome, brother. How you doing? Jeff Lawson, good to see you, man. Till drinking causes a problem. Yeah, I think a lot of people think that if you've gotten to the point in your life where you think that alcohol, there's no way out of it, because I'm talking to those people right now, because that's where I was. I thought there was no way out of it. I really did. And I thought there was nothing that could help me, and there was no way I was going to be able to stop. There is. And I'll tell you right now that if I can get out of it and survive it and move on sober and work in recovery and stay sober for over a couple years now, that you can too. Because I was as bad. I'm going to tell you right now, and every alcoholic thinks that they're unique, and I don't think I'm unique at all. But I do know that my wife had alcoholics in her life, her entire life, and will straight up tell you I was the worst alcoholic she's ever seen, and that's pretty freaking crazy, man. I could not survive a minute awake without alcohol. I really couldn't, and I'm here now and I'm sober. So not to say, if I can do it, you can do it, but really, man, if I can do it, then there's hope for you. So don't ever lose hope that you can't do it. And don't ever think that, in recovery, there's a thing that, I have no off button. I don't either, man. I talk about that all the time. Like, I have no off button. Once I start, I can't stop. There's no turning it off. Yep, for the coffee. Yeah, cocaine and alcohol go hand in hand, man. It's an alcoholic's best friend because it keeps you going. And so, Mogele makes a good point here as well. And I didn't have a drinking problem. I had a stopping problem. So, what I think that means to me is, alcohol, first off, alcohol wasn't the problem. Alcohol's not the problem. And I don't have anything against alcohol. I'm the fucking problem. I'm 100% the problem. Alcoholics like to blame everything on everybody else. And we like to justify things. We like to manipulate you. We like to manipulate you to think you're the fucking problem and you're the reason, or my job's the reason, or doing this show's the reason. Like, anything I can think of, I'll use that. All the kids are the reason, or my car's the reason. I'm getting fucking hammered tonight. Buckeyes lost, and my car won't fucking start, and I'm pissed off. I'm gonna get fucking hammered tonight. That's the reason why. No, that's not the reason. The reason why is because I'm fucking alcoholic, and I will use anything I possibly can to make it sound like I need to go out and get drunk. But it's all bullshit. When you boil it down, it's all bullshit, and that's why I like when people tell me that. Well, I need this, that, and the other. Okay, well, that's why you got drunk? Yeah. All right, well, yeah, that's why. No, you got drunk because you're a fucking alcoholic. And you need to fucking start setting up things in your life so that you fucking won't do that anymore. What are those things? I don't know. I know what I do. I fucking, do you need to go to rehab? Yeah, you may need to. You may need to. Especially if you're an alcoholic. I mean, if you're an alcoholic, you need to go through a detox. And if you're drinking every single day, then you need to go through a detox. That's what worked for me. That's what got me sober. I know that at the point I was in my alcoholism, I would wake up, my weeks were the same every single week. They were the same. And I would get fucking hammered every single day, every night. And then on Sunday, when I was at my worst and weakest point, when I had fucking drank all day Saturday till fucking 4 a.m, till I fucking passed out. And then on Sunday, when I woke up, I'd spent the last 100 days drinking, or I actually spent 5 years drinking every day. But that Sunday I'd be like, well, I'll sober up a little bit today because I got to go back to work tomorrow. You know what I mean? That would be my thinking. And by fucking 9 o'clock, I'd be drunk. By 9 a.m., I'd be drunk. Because I'd be sitting in the kitchen, hiding, chugging fucking alcohol, chugging beers, chugging wine, chugging anything I could find. Normally, there's no liquor left on Sunday. Sunday, I'd be out of liquor. So I'd be chugging beers, chugging wine, anything I could find to get a buzz for that Sunday. So, you know, there's no way that I could stop it. There was no way for me to stop that. So, Greg Ortiz. Got a lot of new people here. Hey, if you're new to the channel, I'm BlackCat Whiteface. That's the name of the channel. I do. Basically, this channel is about vaping and recovery. So stopping smoking and stopping alcohol and drugs. But it's a lot. We do have a lot of fun. I do 4 shows a week. If you want to subscribe to the channel, I'd appreciate it. Just hit the subscribe button there. It's pretty cool. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. But if you like it and you like hanging out, we have a pretty fun time. I see a lot of new names. That's why I said that. Subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to be the Lady Gaga of YouTube's. No, I'm just kidding. Not really. Kind of. Well, I don't know. So, Matt Gunther said, alcoholism is tough because there's a bunch of functioning alcoholics that don't think they have a problem. It's acceptable, whereas drugs have that stigma. And that's a huge thing. And, you know, I can see it in people. I can see my characteristics that I displayed during my alcoholism. And I know the way that I think. And I know the way I think. You ever, you know, your daughter brings home a guy and you're like staring at him because you know how he thinks. You're a guy. And you know how that guy thinks. Well, an alcoholic's the same way. I know how alcoholics think. And I know how I think. And, you know, I can tell when somebody has a problem versus somebody's just a partier and they just want to hang out and get, you know, party and do whatever. And, you know, functioning alcoholics, there's really no such thing. And somebody told me this one time, because I always use that as well, the functional alcoholic thing. You know, there's really no functional alcoholic because really, ultimately, when you boil it down, you're destroying your life. I mean, ultimately, you're destroying your life. Even if you're able to get up and go to work and things like that, you're putting your health in jeopardy. You're putting your family on the back burner. You're putting your job on the back burner. You're putting everything on the back burner so that you can drink. And even you say, well, I didn't drink at work. Well, you still were hungover when you got there in the morning, right? I was still hungover when I got there in the morning. I didn't drink at work a lot of times, but I still was hungover when I got there. It still affected 90% of my day because either I was recovering from the night before, I was sneaking stuff in, or I was waiting to get the fuck out of work, staring at the clock so I could get out of work so I can go get drunk again. So, I mean, you know, your entire day is affected by that. Then when I came home, you know, whether I was hanging out with my family or not, I was still consumed by alcohol. So 95% of the conversations I had regarding things around the house with my wife, with my kids, I didn't remember the next day. So, yeah. Hey, Mitch, how you doing? Happy Tuesday, man. Yeah, so there's always a reason. So, Greg Ortiz, how you doing, man? I don't know if I said hey to you or not, but good to see you. So the whole thing with detox, a standard detox for alcohol is 7 days, and the reason being is that there's a severe chance, a great chance that you will have a seizure when you're coming off alcohol. And more so than with opiates or any of the other drug that you really have to be careful of is benzos, which is like Xanax, things like that. There's a severe chance. And I was actually in a rehab my first time with a woman who was on Xanax. And she had a fucking seizure there. They had to rush her to the hospital. And I don't know what happened to her. I don't know if she died or not. They never told us anything else about her. I think they told us that she was okay, that she made it. But yeah, we were out smoking and she just fucking started fishing out. And that's how serious it is with your detox. Even medically, even if you have a medical detox, there's still a chance that you can have a seizure. But with alcoholism, it's a very, very, very big chance. They always say, I've said this 100 times, but if you've watched any of my other episodes, but if you put 10 alcoholics in a room and lock the door, and you put 10 opiate addicts in a room and lock the door, when you open the door to the opiate addicts, there'll be 10 people standing there with puke and shit all over them, and they'll be sick as fuck, but they'll still be alive. But if you open the door to alcoholics, there'll probably be maybe 6 guys left. 6 people left, like 4 of them will have died because you have to be really, really. So if you are an alcoholic and you really want to quit, or even if you don't want to quit, if you're just sick and tired of it, you know, even when you're sick and tired, you know, even when you're sick and tired of things, you may not want to quit. You may not want, because it may be all it may be all you know to do. You know what I mean? And I know that feeling that like I'm good at it. It's the only thing I know how to do really, really well. I mean, as fucked up as that sounds, like I kind of took pride in how good of an alcoholic I was because I could like, as fucked up as that sounds, but that's how your brain is fucked up. That's how your brain is conditioned over years of doing it. That your brain is so fucked up that you think things like that, and you think this is the only thing that I do really, really well is being an alcoholic. I do it really, really well. And so I know that feeling, and I can admit that now. But you may not want to, but you may just be sick and tired of it. You may just be, I'm fucking sick and tired of doing this every single day. I'm sick and tired of feeling like shit. I'm sick and tired of having fucking uncontrollable anxiety constantly. And you may think to yourself, you know what? I drank because I have anxiety. That's the reason I drank, and that's a good reason, man, because anxiety sucks. Anxiety is fucking awful. It really is. And, you know, I think, you know, people make fun of it. Oh, well, you got anxiety. It's just maybe think you're like soft or something. It's not being soft. Like, I'll fucking fight anybody, heads up. Like, that doesn't scare me at all. But it's not about being tough or being a man. But I would have, when I was drinking, I had anxiety like you would not believe. Like literally, like almost out of my mind at times, almost out of my mind, where I would think really, really awful things. And I can remember driving down the road, just a normal day, and before I had anything to drink, and I would like look at cars and I would like think that car's going to hit me, and I would start having anxiety. Whereas a normal person would drive down the road and you would just obey the speed limit or obey the laws or the best you could if you decided to, but you wouldn't look at other cars and just assume that they're going to run into you. But my brain was so fucked up, and my central nervous system was so fucked up, and my anxiety was just on edge constantly, that thoughts like that would go through my brain. So it almost takes you to an alcohol-based psychosis where you're just kind of fucking crazy all the time. So if you're sick of that, you know, the first thing that you really, really need to do is you need to sit down and you need to commit that you're going to get sober, because it's no use going into rehab if you're not going to get sober. You're not going to get clean. You're just really wasting everybody's time. And unfortunately for you, that most other addicts and alcoholics and most of the people in, unfortunately for you, most of the people that are in these programs, that run these programs, are also alcoholics and addicts, and they'll recognize that you don't really want to get it, and they're not really going to put much time into you. But if you really commit and you really want to get it, then going in and just saying, I'm going to do whatever they fucking tell me to do. I don't care what they tell me to do. They can tell me to bark like a dog. I'm going to bark like a fucking dog, but I'm going to figure out what I need to do to get sober. And I'm going to figure out what is wrong with me so that I can get sober. What have I been doing wrong? What is my thinking that is wrong? But I'm going to sit there, I'm going to listen, I'm going to pay attention, I'm going to really work at this and try to figure out what's wrong with me so that I can get past this disease. Not past it, but learn to live with it and learn to remain in recovery. And without that attitude, man, it's going to be really, really hard, because I'm going to tell you at first, when you get in there and they clear the narcotics or the alcohol out of your system, you're going to get a high and you're going to feel really fucking good. And you're going to think, this is easy. I'm going to work my ass off at this. This is going to be so much. I'm changing my life and I'm going to change the world for the better. And you're on this high, and that high will last for it may last for 10, 15 days. It really may. But when it comes down, and that's why I always say days 30 through 90 are the hardest, because those are the days where you're really doing the work. And those are the days that it's so easy just to go back to doing it, just go back to your old routine. Because that's easy. You know, staying sober is work. And so you need to expect that, and you need to get in there and just keep working and keep working and keep working. And when you're feeling really, really good about it, you know what? Just roll with it and appreciate that you feel really good about it. But know in the back of your head that it's still going to be a lot of work, and that you're going to have to kick ass and you're going to have to keep working hard. And those days that you feel like you can't do it anymore, those are the days you lean on everybody else. Those are the days that we all lean on each other. And that's why the recovery community, just like the vaping community, we're pretty close to each other. We care about each other. That's also the responsibility. And I say this all the time. My wife thinks it's weird, but I always say, you know, like, it's my responsibility. If somebody calls out for help, then I have to help them. You know what I mean? At least to the best of my ability. And that may mean, you know, if they're in my region, like my area, I'll help them out. I'll go over their house and try to get them into recovery and things like that, or trying to get them into rehab or detox or something like that, or stay on the phone with them until they're going to get help. But that's not my responsibility to sit there and talk to you while you're drunk. That's not my responsibility. No, that's not what I do. But if you want to get help, then the responsibility of a person in recovery is to try to get you help and try to get you on the path that at least I'm familiar with and how I got sober. So, mailman, the other thing about the thing with anxiety, you know, some people have clinical anxiety, and it's just the way it is. And you know, there's not many medications that you can take that aren't habit forming to get rid of it. And I'm blessed that I don't have it. Once I quit drinking, and now that I'm sober, I don't have anxiety really. And I mean, I guess at certain situations I will, but not typically. Not typically something I can't talk myself out of or get over with just some, you know, some basic thinking type things I can get around it. But I'll tell you, I've suffered from anxiety from alcoholism, and it's fucking awful. It's fucking awful. It's almost crippling, really. Severe anxiety is literally crippling. It really is. And you know, it's just something that I guess that's when, you know, therapy and talking to other people and trying to figure that stuff out works. I know for me, a lot of things happen with my anxiety is like finding hobbies and things like this, doing stuff like this, give myself something to look forward to. I like that way of thinking. I like to have something to look forward to in my day. You know, long-term things to look forward to, like maybe a vacation or some time away with loved ones, or maybe going to see somebody that you really want to see that you don't get to see very often. And then short-term things to look forward to, like I do this show every day, you know, 4 days a week, and I look forward to it every day. Maybe it could be something like sometimes I look forward to watching a TV show, or maybe it's something for dinner. We're gonna have something really nice for dinner, like Veronica's making meatloaf tonight, and I love meatloaf. Look forward to that. But you find things in your life, and they don't have to be, you know, going out. You know, shopping therapy can be an addiction too. There's some people that like go out and start buying stuff, and that's a really dangerous thing to do because you'll get in debt really, really quick. But finding things that you like that, you know, are free. Maybe going to the park or doing something. It may not sound like something that's up your alley, but there are things that you can do that you can look forward to on a daily basis and you deserve those things. So let yourself do those things. You know what I mean? Find those things that you really, really like to do and do that. It could be playing with your kids. It could be throwing the football with your kid, throwing the baseball with your kid. It could be anything. It could be, you know, taking your kid to get ice cream. You know, and there's a lot of things like when you start getting sober, you know, don't worry about like what you eat and stuff right out of the gate. Don't worry about that shit. If you want ice cream, go get ice cream. Fuck it. You know what I mean? You put on 10 pounds, you know. It's not going to kill you. It's really not. If you're a little heavy, like, you know, I'm a little heavy. You know, I don't eat the best all the time. But, you know, I don't smoke anymore and I don't drink anymore. And I allow myself that. Sure, should I probably eat better? Yeah, I should. I'm getting to that age. But at the same time, I allow myself some things like that. And I allow myself to have a second piece of, like, cake and stuff like that. And, I accept that, you know, I'm not gonna be a supermodel. Todd Black. I'm not going to be a supermodel. I know that you guys probably think that. You probably think Scott could be a supermodel. Well, no, I can't. I'm not going to be that guy. But I accept that. And, you know, I'm still happy about it. So allow yourself some things like that aren't, you know, unless you have some kind of like diabetes or things like that to be aware of. And, you know, don't always overdo it, but you can do things like that for yourself, and you deserve it. If you got to look forward to something like that, look forward to something like that. Yeah, Tracy, I did that for a while. Like my vaping stuff, like I'm kind of getting away. And honestly, like I love coil building and I love vaping and I love this show. You guys know that. But quite frankly, like my collecting days of vaping stuff are kind of over. They're kind of over. Like I'm not really interested in collecting vaping stuff anymore. I like to get new products and I like to tell you guys what I like and what I don't like, kind of the review thing. But as far as collecting it, I pretty much give away everything that I get anymore. And like I've been using this since January. And I'll probably use it until it doesn't work anymore. So I don't really like collect that stuff anymore. But I did for a while and it kept me sober. You know, I have other hobbies that I do. like a baseball and football card, things like that. I do that. It's silly. It's not worth anything, but it's fun for me. And you know, I like to organize things, and I sit upstairs and organize them, and I like doing that. And it satisfies that part of my brain. Scott isn't a supermodel, man. Believe it or not, I'm not. I'm not a superman. I'm not a male model. I know it's shocking. It's shocking with a face like this. You would think that this is male. This is male model material. You know what? Like 3/4 of my, like literally half my head is forehead. Half my face is forehead. Look at that. That's terrible. Half my head, half my face is forehead. It almost looks like a cartoon. That's why I wear this hat. To keep the glare, because the glare was so bad coming off my forehead. I love you too, man. Thanks, Matt. Hot Pockets or breakfast. What's up, Pup Man? Pup Man. Dude, I like Hot Pockets. They're fucking hot, though. Burn the shit out of you. See Brian. What did Brian say, Brian? Sometimes I get literally stuck in my car and can't go in. It's really frustrating. You know, man, Brian, I hear you, dude. God, man, I'll tell you, there's no way. If you've never had anxiety, my wife's never had it. My wife's never had anxiety, and she doesn't really understand it. But if you've never had it, it's hard to explain it to you. It's hard to explain. It's almost... I always used to say I felt like somebody had a gun pointed at me. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I'm at gunpoint here. Like, what the fuck is wrong with me? And to be no reason. No fucking reason for it. And, you know, I don't know if it's the chemicals in your brain. Like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. But alcohol for me was fucking driving. It drove it so badly. But thank you, mailman. I appreciate that. Collect music, yeah. That's so. There you go, and that's you know, Mogilli. That's a lot of things like that. You know, there's things that I like to do too. I find I'm a big documentary guy. I can talk about documentaries all day, and I've seen them all. And I like watching stuff about documentaries. I like to know useless information. I really do, and I like to. I'm a big guy. What's up, Clint? How you doing, man? There's prime advertising space. You're goddamn right. Anybody who wants to advertise on this right here, I'll sell it. $50 an episode. Is that too much? You think? Is that being greedy? Oh, it's my forehead. Hey, Patrick King, how you doing, man? Card collection. I could probably buy a lot of cards if I sold this forehead space. I would. I'd fucking sell in a minute. I'm not above that. People talking about like giving money for reviews. I've brought this up like 100 times. People are like, yeah, we'll give you $1,000 to review this product. Say you like it. I'd be done and done. I'm like not above that at all. People are like, look, that's my integrity. I don't give a fuck. $1,000. Daddy needs some new shoes. I got kids getting. I got a kid getting ready to go to college. Fucking give me the money, dude. I'm not above that at all. Yeah. Hey, Jane, how you doing, hon? Good to see you. Froggy Freaks logo. There you go, Fabian. So, underwear ad. Stop lying. That's right. You look cute in boxers. Yeah, Tracy. You notice it's terrifying. Tattooed? No. No. I have no tattoos. I have none. I'm not that. I can't commit to anything that long. That sounds terrible. Committing to something for the rest of my life. Nah. That sounds awful. I'm too like I can't plan enough to get a tattoo. Like I haven't seen anything I'd be like I really want that on my body for the rest of my life. I don't like looked at anything and be like I think I like that. I don't because I like things for like a day and I don't like it anymore. So I told my wife, she's like, you never got tattoos? Like, huh? It's like why? I was like I don't know because I don't like things that long. Like I don't really like that after a while. Wife, yeah, dealing with anybody with anxiety, man, they become unreasonable, and if you can't understand it, it's really you can't get mad because it's just the way it is. Here comes Waylon Jennings. No black hat white face tattoo. No, not that far. No. I'm going through and reading all the comments here. So that was one thing. Those are the couple things I wanted to bring up today, and I wanted to show Matt's coils that he gave and give him a shout out as well. Thank you again, Matt. Yeah, I don't. You know, there's no clear cut way to get sober or get clean. There's no clear cut way. Everybody's got their own way, but there is a clear cut way to start. And that is really just admitting that not only you have a problem, and I think a lot of people focus on that, getting people to admit they have a problem. But I'm going to tell you this right now: probably half or more than half know they have a problem. They know they have a problem. I think accepting it is more so than admitting it. Just accepting that you have the problem, accepting that it's who you are, not being, no shame or being embarrassed about it. Just be like, I'm fucking. That's what my brain. I'm fucked up. I need to get help for this. There's a stigma, especially for men in this society of weakness with mental illness or any kind of anything you can't think your way through, because men are supposed to be able to think their way through things. That's the way men are. They stay calm and be a man about it and things like that. Kind of goes hand in hand, and that's kind of a silly thing, and it's a society driven thing, and really only in the last maybe a couple thousand years it's been that way. Before that, most societies are run by women, and women being feminine and things weren't like a bad thing. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing now, but I'm saying men are equivalent with strength and things like that. Don't get wrapped up in that. Don't get wrapped up in that. If you've got a problem and you think it makes you less of a man, it doesn't. Not admitting you have a problem is really being a pussy. But admitting you have it, owning it, and trying to find out a way to get better, that is really the responsibility. And you deserve to get better. So don't get wrapped up in being a tough guy. Don't ever get wrapped up in being a tough guy. It's such a boring, bullshit way to live. Nope, you do not need to do a fundraiser for my tattoo, because that will never, ever, ever happen. I will never get a tattoo. Yeah, it takes a lot to open up and talk about it. I think that's the big thing that these conversations that I have and how freely I talk about it, it doesn't bother me to talk about it. And I think that's the blessing that God gave me. I mean, I asked God for help, and I mean, whether you believe in God or not, and I'm not telling you to believe in God, or I'm not telling you to believe anything. You have your own reasons for what you believe, and you have that absolute right to believe whatever you want to believe, man. That's on you. But I believe in God, and I'm a Christian, and I believe in God. And, I asked him for help, and he helped me when I didn't think anybody else could. And I knew nobody else could. And, I don't take that lightly. I really, really don't take that lightly. I mean, I take that as serious as it gets. So, it just is what it is. So maybe God gave me the ability to talk about it freely to help other people. I don't know, but I wouldn't have talked about it before. I wouldn't have talked about it before I got sober. I wouldn't have talked about it at all. But now I just don't mind talking about it at all. And if it gets other people to open up about it and talk freely about it, then that's what this is all about. It's about just accepting who you are, man. That's what this whole show, Yeti and I started. That was what it was all about. Just accepting who you are and just admitting it and rolling with it and finding acceptance that other people, you're not alone. There's millions of us out there. There's millions of us that deal with this. Hey, Johnny Vapes, how you doing, man? Mitch, how you doing? Couple sets of coils for life. Mitch, I would never encourage you to do that. I would never encourage you to get a BlackCat tattoo. No. No. Well, you can watch the show. Subscribe to the channel. That would be fantastic. Yeah. That's the whole thing. It's like, Josh Main, what's up, man? How you doing? Yeah. Hard time getting your vape to crackle. You know, man, mine always typically does. Maybe increase the wattage. Are you using a Mac? Oh no. Guess who's here? He heard his name. Now he's here. He's been all over me since I got home. I got home like a half hour ago. He hasn't left me alone. This fucking guy. There we go. Waylon Jennings. He's in the house. He's an outlaw. He's going to come in and be part of the show. Here he comes. You want to be part of the show, Waylon Jennings? Yes. He's so needy. Just like every guy. He's so fucking needy. He wants to be rubbed. What's up? There he is. He's a good cat. So Jay pays money for tats of his name on you. Does he really? He pays you money for it? He's got a better logo than me, though. .1 on the Vindicator, 30T battery. Vindicator on a 30T, you could go a little lower if you wanted. I mean, I wouldn't suggest going too much lower, but at 30T will hold you pretty steady, as long as it's in good shape. Hey, buddy, just watching and enjoying the show. Thanks for joining, Josh. What else do I have today? Okay, so I mentioned it before. We got about 10 minutes left. Waylon, did you know that we're doing a giveaway tomorrow, Waylon? Yes, I did. He did. He knew. He pays attention to the show. He watches the show every day. From down here, he gets a bird's eye view, a cat's eye view. That's what he gets. Speaking of cat's eye is my Facebook page. I'm on there every day. Lots of funny stuff on there. Links below. Join the Facebook page if you want to. A lot of fun stuff on there. I may start doing waffles again. I don't know. I hadn't done them in a while just because they weren't really selling out. But I may start doing them again if you want to do that. Hey, Paul, how you doing, LabWorks? Good to see you, man. Glad you're here. Then you had the Patreon I mentioned yesterday. If you're not a Patreon, you want to become a Patreon, be a part of the Blackcatfam. Link is below to that. Link doesn't really, I don't know if the link doesn't work. I need to change it. But if you go to Patreon, you type in Blackcat Whiteface, I'm right there. I'm right there. I'm there. I'm there. We need a Waylon. We do need a Waylon cam. I thought about that. Getting him his own cam for the show, and then like during the show, click over the Waylon cam and just shows him like running through the house, biting stuff, getting in trouble. Like right now, he's just like knocking shit over, being a dick. We do need a Waylon cam. You're absolutely right. What's up, Charlie? Charlie and I will be back in the hot tub this Friday. If you're looking forward to that, that should be a good show. I think we're gonna have a very special guest on Friday that we've been trying to get. Charlie, did you ever respond back to me? Did you ever get that confirmed? Charlie's like the manager of the vape hot tub. He gets everything confirmed. He takes care of all the stuff that needs to be taken care of. Charlie takes care of. He takes care of it for me. I am definitely not responsible enough to do anything like that. Waylon Lug Show is what we need. You're goddamn right. You're right, Jane. There's the Patreon. Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, if you want to become a Patreon, it's pretty cool. We have a lot of stuff in there you can do. Hey, Sick Boy. How you doing, man? Thank you, brother. I'm kind of running out of the things to say, Sick Boy. I kind of, I don't want to I don't want to just talk about it just to talk. I kind of plan out what I'm going to say. I think about it during the day. On the way home, I kind of like during that. And what typically, like a lot of the stuff that I get some people that contact me directly about, and typically I get, what I've been seeing a lot lately is people just ask if I think they have a problem. And, my response to that is, well, do you think you got a problem? Like, who am I to fucking judge you? I'm fucking drunk. Who am I to judge you? Like, you need to tell me if you think you have a problem. And typically, if you're asking if somebody thinks you have a problem, it's because you think you do. If you can't just cut alcohol out of your life, if you can't just say, you know what, I'm not going to drink anymore. It's not productive for me. It's not working. It's causing problems in my life, whether it be, judicially, whether you're in fucking running out and out of court because of it, relationship-wise. You don't want to lose your relationship. But, sometimes you may not be happy in your relationship. You know what I mean? You may not be happy in a relationship, and it may be better to get away from it sometimes. And maybe that's part of the reason why you feel like you need to drink all the time or use, and that could be it too. You know. The new Black Cat White Face Juice, Waylon's Revenge. I don't know if anybody vape anything. It was called Revenge. Maybe. I don't fucking know. Yeah, Dave. I'll tell you. You know, there's lots of forums you can get into where I'll talk about builds and stuff like that. Good place to ask. There's a lot of builders in this chat. A lot of builders, and Divine83 as well. If you're not watching Divine83, check him out. N.Divine83. Red flag. Crapping your pants is a red flag. Yeah. Yeah, I crap my pants a lot as an alcoholic. God almighty. Fucking terrible, man. It was terrible. Always sick. Always sick. Stomach always hurt. Tomorrow on the Vape at 5, I've got a review for you of the Asmodus Minikin 3S. We're doing this tomorrow, guys. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that a beautiful mod? I love this thing. I've been using it. I'm still at 61%. I used it all day today, and I'm still at 61%. I have not changed batteries since I've got it. So I don't know what this chip is fantastic. It really, really is. And I'll show you, kind of walk you through some of the display and stuff tomorrow so you can see how easy it is to maneuver and things like that. Okay, I will, man. Sure, Lap. Works absolutely, brother. I'll get a hold of you. All right, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up. We're about 5 minutes. I'll give you 5 minutes back. Oh, and if you're not in the giveaway, go to Monday's episode of the Vape 5, yesterday's episode. Put in a number between 1 and 150 in the comment section. You're going to have a chance to win Cat's Whiskers from Shy Tots. You're going to have a chance to win my new sponsor, which is Holy Fiber. A bag of Holy Fiber, which you really can't get. Not many people have. It's fantastic. You guys are going to love it. And you're going to win a set of coils from ArkaCoil. So go over to yesterday's episode and then make sure you go to ArkaCoil's Instagram page, link is below, and repost a pic with the hashtag BlackCatFam for Friday's giveaway, which is going to be 3 sets of coils and some juice. All right, guys. Love you guys. Hope you guys have a fantastic night. Tonight on the YouTubes, you've got Nick will be on, I believe, at 7 o'clock. Or maybe 8, because he's working late this week, so maybe 8 o'clock. Nick Divine and Divine83 will be on. ST Vapes, I believe, is on at 9 o'clock. And Fresh, I believe, is on at 9 o'clock as well. I will see you in the chat of those shows. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. I will see you tomorrow for our review, the Asmodus Minikin 3S. Talk to you guys later. Have a great night, guys.